Sankofa is an African symbol that means go back to the past and bring those lessons to your present. Black farmers kind of came and kind of took me underneath the wing with a convo about food security. You know, where does your food come from? What do you do if the grocery store is closed? To be frank, the real work for us is like, yo, there is a lack of food in communities that I'm from, you know, formerly redline neighborhoods. So we're like, yo, the communities that are marginalized like that should have control of their food system.
Absolutely. But when it comes down to it, for us to really be a threat against big agriculture,
right,
we all have to do it in synchronization, right? So we all have to have a part and own a part of the system for it to work and for it to actually affect a lot of people, right?
Exactly. I used to work for social services. You know, I was the guy that would interview folks for food stamps. You know, I'm giving out SNAP benefits every day, like, and it's like thousands of people that I'm reaching. So I was like, yo, you get SNAP, like you should come to our little farmers market deal. You'll get more bang for your buck. So yeah, I like to say my mom helped free me. You know, when she passed away, she set me free.
Welcome back, everybody. I'm Adam, and this is my wife, Leslie. We have 6 kids. For the past 10 years, we lived in a big farmhouse and homesteaded on 5 acres. Now, we're living in a 30-foot RV, traveling the nation to tell the stories of the 21st century American homesteader. A grassroots movement is happening in America. Average folks like you and me are returning to the land and rediscovering what it means to grow their own food. We are here to tell their stories. So join us on this journey. If you like what you see, subscribe to the channel and share it with your friends. This is awesome.
Yeah, we've been out here for this spot. We've been rocking for about 3 years now. We're going into the 3rd year in January. We started January 2021. This is city land. Okay. You did. And city.
Is this like land that they wanted to be improved, stuff like that?
Nah. You know, the city got Parks and Rec.
Yeah.
They got a lot of vacant land.
Right.
And so they set it up so that members of the community can like get plots. And this is the biggest plot that they had available for this type of stuff. So yeah, me and my homie back in the day lucked at it, passed on it because we didn't have a water line. But you know how it goes, you evolve in your techniques and capacities, and you learn ways to work around situations. So we ended up getting heavy into the rainwater catchment work and solar powered irrigation. So
that's cool.
Like, yo, it makes sense, we could do it now. Sankofa is an African symbol that means go back to the past and bring those lessons to your present.
No, it doesn't, bro.
Yeah. So that's why we call the space Sankofa.
Dude, so check this out.
What?
That's crazy because so what we're doing is we're traveling the nation, right?
Right.
We call this Tales of the 21st Century American Homesteader, right?
Right.
And so the tagline has been looking to the past to dig up that old knowledge and bringing it into the present. That's crazy.
And yo.
I saw that this was named Sankofa, and I was like, okay, I looked up the word, but I didn't.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
The metaphor for us is like none of this stuff is new. You know what I mean? We're just bringing it.
We lost it today.
Yeah, we lost it. So we're bringing it back. Showing people that it is, feasible for you to grow food in the city. Yeah. A lot of detractors of urban ag be like, it just doesn't work. And we're like, bro, y'all not looking at systems.
Yeah.
So we have on-farm cold storage, you know what I mean? Drip irrigation, automated water systems. Yeah. And we produce, you know what I mean? We sell the food that we grow. So
that's awesome.
It works for us. You know what I'm saying? I don't know about anybody else. So a 20 by 50 greenhouse. This is the tank. Right now, it looks a little messy, but
so it goes with gardening, right?
Yeah. Well, for us, we like, we wanted to extend the growing season.
Sure.
Because again, we in the city, we got 5 acres, still not a lot of space.
Right.
It's enough that we can consistently feed our CSA. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And right now we rocking peppers. So come in and take a look at what we got. Pardon the mess. We got a little ginger popping off, lots of hot peppers, Lots and lots of hot peppers. There's some ground cherries in here. Some turmeric. Somebody messing around with my turmeric. But yeah, we got a couple of stalks of turmeric. Got some strawberries going in here. And yeah, my homie brought some sugar cane. So this is also kind of like our effort to, like, you know, experiment.
For sure.
So yeah, he brought some sugar cane. So we're like, oh, let's see if the sugar cane pop off in the greenhouse.
That's cool.
Which is going pretty well.
Yeah.
This is automated watering overhead. We usually fill this tank up and let it run, you know, for like 45 minutes, an hour, every other day,
yeah,
to give it a nice little saturation. And yeah, that works out fine. This side, we got bees. My wife is a beekeeper.
Okay.
So she manages the bees. We don't even really harvest the honey. It's really about the 120 fruit trees that we got here.
For sure.
So we planted everything that we can get our hands on: Arkansas black, Gala apples, cherries, apricots, pluots, plums, persimmons, figs. Shit, we got pears, like probably about 4 or 5 varieties of pears that they do best for us. So the bees,
and that's all right here on this 5 acres.
Yeah, so from here, and as you walk around, you'll see just about every tree that's medium sized, semi-dwarf, is a fruit tree of some variety.
Okay.
You know, but yeah, we use the bees to pollinate the trees.
Got the BCS going here. See that?
Oh yeah. So
Nice.
yeah, we get busy. BCS. Yeah, we do low till, no till. We usually, you know, this is really hard pan soil. This is, if you notice the topography, this is the lowest area in the neighborhood.
Okay.
It used to be a creek bed, so it's a lot of rocks. You know what I mean? And
decent soil because of that runoff. No.
yeah,
Okay.
It's decent. Yeah, the soil is rich, but the thing is, it's so many rocks.
Sure.
You know what I mean? So we
Yeah.
had to, like, we got to use the rotary plow to break that stuff up. But after we use the rotary plow, we just, you know, add organic matter and soil amendments to build up the fertility in the soil and keep the tilth right.
Gotcha.
You know, so we till once. Like, you know, I know folks be like, yeah, you shouldn't till it all. We till once to establish the rows, and then we build up from there. You know what I mean?
Market garden style.
Basically.
Okay.
Yeah, just like that.
So this is all production mainly. Are you doing like nonprofit stuff as well, or?
Yeah. So back up. So my organization is a nonprofit.
Okay.
Right. Happily Natural Day is a 20-year-old organization. We started in 2003. Our whole focus has been on holistic health, wellness, identity, and social change. Right. But I met farmers after launching the organization. It's actually a festival that we do every year.
Gotcha.
So black farmers kind of came and kind of took me underneath the wing with a convo about food security. You know, where does your food come from? What do you do if the grocery store's closed? And that kind of led me down this winding trail of, you know, community gardens, school gardens. Did that for a little bit, but before I started that, I was connecting those farmers to communities that didn't have access to a grocery store.
Yeah.
So instead of waiting for somebody to come start a farmer's market, we basically set up a pop-up market where we bring those farmers in, sell their produce to the folks, and rock it.
So you're covering the gap on like food desert stuff.
Yeah. So to be frank, the real work for us is like, yo, there is a lack of food in communities that I'm from, you know, formerly redline neighborhoods. So we're like, yo, the communities that are marginalized like that should have control of their food system.
Absolutely.
Right? And control of land and production and aggregation, innovation and distribution.
Yeah.
So that's our work, is like, how do we establish new systems in communities that have been marginalized from control of the food system, that have been dependent on somebody to come in and drop food off, or, you know, the BS that's in the bodega and 7-Eleven or whatever. Like, scratch that. Like, we can grow food in community. Folks can get paid from the food they grow. Yeah. And they can make products and the whole thing. Yeah.
Improve their health.
Yeah. So, but as a nonprofit, like, don't get it twisted. Like, we are about revenue generation. You know what I'm saying? Our work is like, yeah, we get a grant or two from philanthropy, but the real deal is like, we use that to get infrastructure, right? So the BCS, You dig what I'm saying? The high tunnel, you know what I mean? The solar for the space. And once we get that, we like, all right, well, this is gonna help facilitate people's entry into the work as a vocation.
Right.
Not as like, you know, I like to grow some food for myself. That's great. But how do you grow some food for yourself and create markets?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And supply chains. So outside of what we grow, we also work with farmers across the region where we aggregate their produce into the coolers. Right now I got 3 coolers. 2 are on farm, 1 here. We got another farm 30 minutes from here. There's another cooler there. Then we do our pop-up farmers market on another side of town, where we got another like a 12 by 16 shed that we put a cool bot in.
Okay.
And that's, you know, that allows us to scale up the aggregation and then also extend the season for what we grow.
So there's always like this, you know, like you said, like, you know, the backyard gardener trying to grow their own food. But when it comes down to it, for us to really be a threat against big agriculture, we all have to do it in synchronization, right? So we all have to have a part and own a part of the system for it to work and for it to actually affect a lot of people, right?
Exactly.
And so we're fighting against this huge agriculture
which is
system.
Organized,
right?
You know what I'm saying?
It
has tentacles all across. Well, how do we think as community? How do we think as systems ourselves?
I love it.
You know what I mean? How do we coordinate and collaborate so that, well, I'm not trying, like, that system is gonna fall away.
Sure.
At least that's from what I'm seeing. Climate change, all this shit is happening.
Right.
You know, workers are like, you know, I'm not down for this. How do we set up the system that honors humanity, you know what I mean? And builds people's, you know, self-sufficiency and interdependency, you know what I mean? So yeah, it was not even about, like, big ag, they doing that, it's going on over there, but we can create something for ourselves that's totally divorced from that, that's not beholden to that at all. So that's the kind of conversation that we have with philanthropy. Like, yo, all right, give us a bag. You want people to come out of poverty, you want people to eat healthy, give us the bag so that we can establish the infrastructure and community so that can happen. And people not, you know, addicted to big pharma, you know, by virtue of that relationship with big ag and cheap food that ain't, you know, hitting on nothing, that's got no nutrients inside of it, and it's a bunch of processed crap. We can grow nutrient dense food in our own communities, right? And then, you know, everybody don't know how to cook stuff from scratch, but we can make stuff, too. You know what I'm saying? So let me go ahead. I got a food truck too, commissary kitchen. So we make products. You know what I'm saying? Turn the stuff that we grow into soups and sauces and all that.
Love it.
So that's just the wave. It's like, how do we grow that system?
That's
now,
awesome.
over this side right here, my wife went to Uganda for like 2 weeks. She's a student midwife, and she brought back seeds. So we got Ugandan cowpeas.
That's so cool.
And some greens that we're trialing. This is like research too.
You do a lot of experimental stuff.
Yeah, trying to see what's happening, you know, see if stuff will rock. There's a large African community, like continental African community here in Virginia. So we're like, yo, maybe we can start growing stuff that can fit that market as well. You know what I mean?
Love it.
I mean, it's fall, so, you know, this is our berry patch. It's gummy berries, honeyberries, raspberries. Got a couple pomegranates in the mix. This is all baby pomegranates. They're probably like a year or 2 years old. That's my failing blueberry patch.
I feel I got some of those. We had some of those as well.
This is our blackberry patch. So yeah, we do that because every year, you know, more and more kids are coming by, so we try to like get them in the mix. And then it's also perennial crops, help keep the water in place, help build up the microbiology in the soil, because their roots are always staying in one place. Let's go this way.
You got solar,
your water catchment stuff going on.
So because we don't have water, we establish, and this is Ana, say hi.
How you doing?
It's our farm manager. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 rainwater catchment structures, and so on 2 of those we have solar installed, and, you know, batteries, inverter, charge controller, and that's pumping water where it needs to go. These two here don't have solar on the roof, but there's one solar here. Right now, I haven't finished setting it up, so you know, it's all good. Drip irrigation works for the length of this. We're doing fall change out.
Yep.
So as you can tell, like we had eggplants and okra, so we're pulling all that and going back and putting down cabbage, broccoli for the fall.
Okay. Cool.
Hey, and you know, if anybody, y'all probably are aware of like, you know, the landscape fabric technique. We use that because we don't have a lot of time to be weeding.
We have 5 acres in the Midwest. Bermuda grass is like a massive issue there. If you don't remove it, every last bit of it from the soil, it just takes over. And so, yeah, we do landscape fabric just like that. Yeah. We tried, you know, wood chip gardening, all sorts of different things, but this was definitely the highest production that we had. Yeah. We did raised beds, we did all sorts of stuff, but this is high production.
I go hard for this. It changed my life. I was like, why didn't anybody tell me about this when I first started? Over here we got peppers. Right now we're pepper fanatics, so we do a lot of hot peppers. Okay. Thai peppers, ghost peppers, Carolina Reaper, Trinidad Scorpions, you know, chilies, cayennes, serranos. Our whole goal is really like to not only, you know, sell the peppers straight up, but also like we got a solar dehydrator on the space. Okay. And so we're gonna be drying those out, grinding them up, turn them into pepper packs for sale, value-added products. So that's another part of our vision too.
That's cool.
So yeah, the whole space is 5 acres. We are growing actively on about 3.5 of that. The remaining 1.5 acres extends into the woods. Okay. So that's where the bush hog comes into play. We're building trails, cutting through the woods so we can establish some agroforestry situations. Sweet. And hopefully 2024 we'll have some wall tents, platform wall tents in there so that people can come to the space from out of town and train with us, because that's another part of our work, is that we train. Okay. You know, we run a 12-week fellowship that teaches people how to start their own farm and then how to connect to the resources, USDA, Farm Service Agency, you know, different philanthropic endeavors, etc. And even down to design, like what is that? What does your farm look like? That type of stuff.
Y'all do consultation stuff, or is it just like, hey, this is what we've done, you can learn stuff out of this?
So yeah, our goal is really like, yo, like when the class starts, we ask people, so what are you trying to do? And then we try to tailor our curriculum to what people are trying to do. Yeah. And then once they finish our training, we do have access to land. Like we own 80 acres in rural Virginia, and Amelia is about an hour away. And then we own 5 acres in Petersburg. It's like about 30 minutes away. Okay. And so once you finish our training, then we're like, yo, you can get a 1/4 acre, 1/8 of an acre just to start, right? And really build up your skill set, get access to a farm number, and then do 3 years, maybe 2.
On that property?
On that property.
Wow.
And then go off to the 80 acres and get 3 acres, 4 acres to be able to really do your thing.
So you're like stepping people up.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, yeah. Because, you know, barrier to access for farmers is land. You know, if I don't have it, if I'm not trying to go into debt trying to farm, like from the jump, if you're a new farmer, that's like the wrong way to go. Yeah. So we try to help create a wider runway for folks to be able to access it.
Yeah, and land around here, I'm sure, is not cheap.
Yeah, not necessarily. So that's why, well, unfortunately, it's hard for us to get land in the city. Yeah. So going out, peri-urban, 40 miles outside of the city has worked out. Yeah. Well, we got 5 acres for like 160,000. Okay. And then the 80 acres that we got was donated to our organization.
That's cool. So I love that.
Incubator farms, man. Yeah. Like farming again is a vocation. I mean, I was just talking about this to one of my colleagues. Like people love to talk about, you know, urban ag, but they contextualize it as community gardens and school gardens. Sure. And I'm like, yo, that's not it. Like before there was a grocery store, before there was a highway, all food was urban agriculture. That's right. Because the food was grown where the people lived at. Yeah. You know, our misnomer is like 50 years post, the creation of the highway system, different neighborhoods don't have access to food. And then of course, like big ag, the folks that lived in rural areas that were growing food are now growing, those highly subsidized crops, the corn, the soy, all that type of stuff. So we're like, yo, how do we flip it? Return people back to what was happening before our system got, corrupted.
Yeah, you look at like a census from the 20s or whatever, you look back at those census. I did some of my ancestry and I was looking at some of those documents and everybody was a farmer.
Right. Right. So this is our this is a newer zone for us. So again, cutting into the earth. This is BCS in action.
Yeah.
The rotary plow hitting it. Established 8 rows. So right now we got marigolds, because of course, Day of the Dead is coming.
Yeah.
So we got a ton of marigolds getting ready to pop off. We just planted.
You got banana trees.
Yeah, hardy. Mouja Banjou. It's a zone 7 banana tree. So
that'll last.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. We put that down as a privacy fence.
How old those?
Those are a couple months, maybe like 6 months.
Okay.
6 months old. So yeah, hopefully they don't die back too bad. Yeah, we try to pull those different techniques, man. Like I'm not like, people are like, are you a regenerative farmer? A biological farmer, no-till farmer. I'm like, I'm trying to pull from all of these schools, to what applies to our situation.
Duron, this is super unique. Like, if not everyone steps into this area, like how do you get started with something like this? What's your background? And
I used to work for social services. I was the guy that would interview folks for food stamps.
Yeah.
And so like, that was like my day job. And I was running the festival on the side. And I think it was like 2006, 7. Like the farmers started coming to the festival. They have like, value added products or a food truck. And they're like, yo, it's dope that you got this festival. You're talking about holistic health. We should really be talking about where food comes from. And I was like, yeah, you know what? You're right. People don't know. And I even personally kind of like took it for granted. Like, yeah, we just go to the grocery store, bro, with the stuff that you need, I hadn't really thought about like, living in a neighborhood that didn't have a grocery store. It's never really dawned on me. But when they put that bug in my ear, like a light bulb went off. And so, me working at social services made it even more like clear, like why it was important. Cause I'm giving out SNAP benefits every day. Like, and it's like thousands of people that I'm reaching. So I was like, yo, you get SNAP, like you should come to our little farmers market deal. You'll get more bang for your buck with that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so that's kind of how I got in it, as a result of like working with those farmers and bringing their produce in. I started being like, dag, these guys are older, like they're my grandpa's age. They're like I was in my mid 20s, they're like in their 60s. And I was like, yo, something happened to this brother. Then this whole program that I'm doing is going to shit. So I was like, yo, I should start growing. And I was moving. I found a little triangular park in the middle of a neighborhood. And I was like, yo, I'm gonna move down the street from here. Started my first garden in 2012. And I was like, yo, I'm just trying to learn. And the bug bit me in that moment, because I was like, yo, I'm growing purple carrots. You know what I mean? I never had purple carrots. I was like, yo, this is dope.
You can buy those in the grocery store most of the time.
Facts.
Yeah.
Right? So it was my curiosity was piqued, because I was like, oh shit, I'm growing shit that I never knew existed. I was like, I didn't used to like eggplant, but now I found an eggplant type variety that I do like. So maybe there's space in this. But quickly realized that, 30 raised beds on a little triangle plot won't really cutting it in terms of production. It was good, I ain't gonna lie. We did great, people were fed, like individuals got their little plot and stuff like that. But I was like, yo, I need more land so that I can grow and sell what we're growing. Instead of having this farmer come from 45 minutes away every Saturday with 200 pounds of produce. So that's the quest. That was been the quest since 2012, is how to get some land so that we can really do this thing. And my evolution in the work, it just kind of was parallel to that, like that search. I ended up getting a gig with Virginia State University, and one of my professors got a grant from the USDA to turn old rec center into an indoor farm. So I was the project director for that. That was like 2014. Did that, put solar on the roof, aquaponics, hydroponics, vertical tower gardens, and the whole shit. Retrofitted the whole back of the space into a commercial kitchen with cold storage and the whole thing. Little plots outside of the center into mini farms and orchards and things. Left that job, ended up going to the botanical garden and doing community engagement with them, where we train people to develop green spaces in the community. And at the same time I'm doing that, I was also, I still had my own organization, so still looking for land and things like that. And then COVID hit. So COVID hit 2020. The botanical garden closed because of Virginia mandates for shutdown. It was all, essential businesses only. So I took my last check from the botanical gardens and turned our organization into a nonprofit. We were doing COVID relief, giving away raised beds to community. And we ended up doing a exhibit at the busiest intersection in Richmond is Broad and Belvedere. We put a garden on a parking lot, right? It was called the Resiliency Garden. 30 raised beds, 30 fruit trees, shade structures, mural on the ground, all that stuff was going down.
Yeah.
When that exhibit closed, the folks that we did it for was like, yo, you can have all the plants. So it was like, okay, word. Can we so we took the soil, the perennials, the trees, the raised beds, everything, and we brought the trees and the perennials and the soil here.
This is all during COVID.
This is all during COVID. This is like December 2020.
Right.
And then till January 2021, we planted the first trees over here. So I got into this. This has been kind of like a faith walk of like, wanting to increase access to healthy food in my community, but then also like on a personal level, like I'm trying to escape the cubicle. Like I'm working for these people, and I'm a jockey, man. I type things and I give people food stamps and stuff like that. I was like, yo, this sucks. I need to get outside.
Yeah. So you're huge on community, impacting your community, like on a philosophical level, not on just the tangible, hey, this is the things we're doing. What do you hope to see out of this?
So one, transformation of the physical environment in communities that were redlined back in the 50s.
Yeah.
So that's first. So those communities are like heavily stressed by lots of impervious surface. So it's lots of concrete, lots of streetscape, not as much trees, not as much parks and stuff like that. So the first is more green spaces. Whether it's production or not, that's up to the communities that we're working with. You know what I mean? The second thing I want to see, that I'm yearning to see, that I'm already seeing, is that people get connected back to the land and can see themselves like having a vocation that's in relationship with the land. Yeah. That's not just like public horticulture. You know what I mean? I love, annual flowers and grasses and all that type of stuff, but I'm like, also, you could plant fruit trees and shrubs and you have an edible landscape. Yeah. So getting people to see the potential for their community to have a vibrant, hyper-local food system, is what I'm trying to realize, and helping people understand, like, it's bigger than a community garden, bruh. It's way bigger. Like, that 6x4 bed is a gateway. This like the gateway drug. Like, go ahead and tap that, but I'm telling you, it's something way bigger out here for you. So, the cold storage, getting those cool bots and things like that in play, working with the USDA, getting those equip grants and those high tunnels into communities, so people can grow the things that they want to grow. This space is like our template. It's like we use every space that we try to build, we try to put some sort of outdoor kitchen, try to put some sort of shade structure gathering space and, you know, create it so that people can come and chill and vibe and things like that. But it also is an engine. It's growing enough food that people come over here all the time and be picking stuff. And it's like, I'm cool with that. I don't even trip because it's so much that we're able to grow. It's like, yo, you could fill up your little grocery bag of peppers and I still got, you know what I'm saying, way enough to go to the market with and sell. So
I love it.
Yeah.
So really, you talk about independence. It's like people say food independence, but really when it comes down to it, it gives you a level of freedom that makes you feel human again, you know?
Yeah.
We live in these kind of all these man-made structures and systems, and when we're able to get our hands on something that we are in control with,
bro,
it changes our lives.
Yes, I can testify.
Yeah,
as me personally, like this is my life has metamorphed. I would, if somebody asked me 10 years ago that I'd be doing this, I'd be like, man, what, you serious? Really? No, I don't think so. But the way things evolved, like, I mean, I found this as a passion, but it also, for me, was also like a way out of that rat race. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So now it's like, I can say, I'd like, because I don't have to worry about food, because we grow, you know, way more than, you know, I could ever eat by myself.
Yeah.
I pay for my house, so I don't have a mortgage. You know what I'm saying? I pay for my truck, so I don't have a car note. So I can say no to a lot of shit.
Yeah.
Because it's like, is it gonna serve me? Is it gonna like make me joyful? Like, I ain't trying to really do that. And I think that when people get into this stuff and they can figure out how to, like, you know, kill their expenses, they can really like enjoy what it means to be able to be in communion with, you know, nature in a way that's real. Like, yeah, it's real. Like I personally have felt my life shift. Like, you know, I've experienced loss. The garden space has been a space for me to process, you know, a lot of that. And then like keep throwing back to all these young people, like 20 somethings that have come around, and then they're like passionate about the shit, and then they get the chance to like be in it too, and then put their imprint on it, like what they want to bring to it.
We find that so much youth, they don't have identity because they feel like they don't have a purpose.
Right.
So,
but they get to tap in here, and they know that this is something that's impacting community real, like in a real way.
Yeah. You talk. I saw some of your stuff on your mom as an inspiration. Talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, my mom.
Because my dad, like I said, my dad's a 45-year-old, you know, gardener, did all this stuff, and I feel like part of that, you know, landed on me.
Yeah,
without knowing it. Man,
my mom was my mom passed away in 2021. Not from COVID, she had cancer. So my mother's my mom was really community centered. She gave me and my siblings like a real, you know, immersion and like, you know, being good to other people and shit like that. And so when she passed away, she left us an inheritance. My mom worked for the government for like her whole life. And I took some of that money and, you know, bought a tractor, you know, invested. You see the artwork that's around here.
Yeah.
So we invested in like the murals and things like that for the space. So yeah, I like to say my mom helped free me. You know, when she passed away, she set me free. You know, because at that point, you know, we like year 2 of COVID, and then I get this inheritance, and I get the equipment that I need. That is like, yo, there's no need to turn back now. You got everything that you need in order to rock this. So yeah, she's been a big inspiration. In fact, like, you know, our conversation was like our last conversation. She was like, yeah, just, you know, keep making God proud. And my mom was very like rooted in the church.
Yeah.
And so her spirit is embedded in what we do. And, you know, for me, it's like I'm just, you know, living in that space of like, my mother saw what we was doing. She loved it. She thought it was amazing. You know what I mean? I know she watches down over top of us and was like, yo, just keep going. And I just try to keep that legacy alive. Yeah, that's real talk. Thank you for asking.
biggest wine, like winery vineyard states in the entire nation high. So like, you can only even import into the States.
I went out there with a couple burlap bags and just like, you know, went filled them up and shit. Like, yo.
Dude, these shovels, they're great. All right, Duron, this has been amazing. Dude, you're a freaking hero out here.
God bless you, man.
Affecting change in your community. Not only that, but growing other people up to do the same. I have not seen this, so
Appreciate you.
you're doing
man.
amazing things. So
Thank you, man.
yeah.
Thank you for coming and tap in, man. I mean, this is the way that we pollinate, cross-pollinate
That's right.
the ecosystem.
That's right.
So yeah, appreciate you, man. You know, keep doing what you're doing. Again, like Sankofa Community Orchard, Richmond, Virginia. This is we call it a food justice and climate resiliency demonstration. The whole goal is for people to see this type of stuff and be like, yo, I can do that too.
Yeah.
You know, come through, check it out. We got trainings, classes that we teach. You know, we're about to launch an online thing, but you know, you can come stay with us. We got wall cabins, wall tents that folks can stay in. So tap in, Happily Natural Day, and you know, look.
Yeah, that's where they can find you. HappilyNaturalDay.com.
No, it's thenaturalfestival.com.
TheNaturalFestival.com.
Yeah, or you can follow me on Instagram at Duron Chavis or at Happily Natural Festival.
Cool.
Yeah.
Awesome, bro.
Salute you, man.
Yeah.
Appreciate you.
Thank you so much.
No doubt.